Hello, everybody. Welcome in. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the Twin Astrology forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. And so what I usually do is we talk about the astrology, and then we dig a little bit deeper into both the masculine and the feminine collective with the cards. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about these energies. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the videos, comment on the video, and let me know what you think down below. Okay, so this week we have Venus entering into Pisces today, and that's really the only major aspect playing out until later into the week on Sunday. And so right now we're kind of just contending with the energies of the moon shifting every couple of days, but I do want to talk about Venus entering Pisces. And so we had the new moon in Pisces. We're going to have Venus entering into Pisces. We just had Mercury go into Aries, and so we got a little bit of fire going into this water. And so I feel with Venus entering into Pisces, it's entering into the 6th house, which I feel is pointing towards a reset when it comes to certain love affairs, relationships. I also felt a very strong reset when it comes to the emotional and telepathic bond for the twins. It's basically judgment energy along with the Hierophant with Queen of Wands. And so this energy is kind of potent, I feel, for the twins. So in order for us kind of to reach the highest pinnacle, the highest point of our expression, we do have to kind of fall to the lowest point at the bottom of the barrel. And so Venus in Pisces is going to be this energy, I feel, of us learning to express this universal love that the twins share, this universal oneness. But we do also need to have boundaries, right? Pisces blurs the lines, blurs the boundaries. And so if we don't have healthy, firm boundaries, we're going to feel forever condemned to this like excessive vulnerability and sensitivity. And it is this energy, I feel, of like drowning in love. And so we have Venus opposite the ascendant when this shift takes place, and we are going to have Venus square Taurus, the 10th house in Taurus. And so I was shown High Priestess with Chariot energy, Ace of Wands with the Queen of Swords. And so we're in a very powerful week, I feel, of resting before action. So I want to mention some of the syncs that have been loud. 646, 919, 606, 101, 303, 232, 313, and 441. And so really what I feel the energy is encouraging us this week, starting up the week with Venus in Pisces, is this combination that I feel is encouraging us to use a healthy sense of self-confidence and to find a healthy sense of ambition to break away from any type of conformity or maybe traditional expectations. The Queen of Wands in high vibration is a very powerful energy, right? So it's like the youngest queen out of all of the queens in the tarot. And so that's why she kind of gets a bad rap, right? Because it's all this passionate energy. I feel family matters are in focus this week, whether it's gains or losses, but love is in focus. And I feel the time is now to kind of make those plans to proceed towards the future. But things are going to be a little bit foggy and confusing, right? And so Mercury in Aries is helping us gain a little bit of groundedness, even though it's a fire sign. And so I feel right now we've received a lot of flashes of insights connected to these unions regarding the twin soul marriage and the children connected to these partnerships and these unions. And so I do feel we do have to confront any family matters as blocks for these unions to come together. We are also in a very powerful eclipse portal where we have massive potential of harvest. And so this is also a very karmic period of reaping the seeds that you have sown in the past. And so what did you do in the past? Is the past coming back to haunt you, or is it coming back to bless you? So if we look at the negative Queen of Wands, this is like jealousy, unfaithfulness, domineering, controlling, possessive, very stubborn when crossed, and it can be very spiteful and vengeful and become very unhinged in low vibration. And so right now I feel collectively the masculine is presented with two paths, and I feel like the path of the feminine and breaking free from conformity, or the path of the karmic. And so the path of the karmic feminine, the Hierophant with the Queen of Wands in reverse would be the path of indulgence. It would be the path of like lustful temptations and saturating the senses with drugs and alcohol, sex and food, and anything comfort, anything that keeps us in that low vibrational comfort zone. Or the path of the higher energy of the divine feminine, who's gone through the higher cosmic mental development. And so that would require like a cleansing and a regenerative process for the masculine to endure mind, body, and soul. And so I do feel we are in a period of resting this week, preparing for what is to come with the eclipses. And so I was also sitting in this energy of the Empress with the Temperance card. And so these are two of the most iconic cards together, I feel, for me. They each hold a very deep meaning for my own journey and are symbolic to my own journey. The Empress representing my sun sign in Taurus, and my Lilith is in Libra, the Taurus Libra energy connected to the Empress. And then the Temperance energy, being Sagittarius, is connected to my 10th house in Sag. And then I also have my Jupiter in Virgo at a degree of like, or an orb of 14, 0 degrees 14, and I always connect that to the Temperance. But I feel there's a powerful energy and message coming forward about balance and nurturing for the divine feminine, encouraging the feminine to embrace patience and self-control, also while embodying the Empress energy of creativity and abundance and fertility, right? And so everything in moderation. And so good and bad really is a perception. There really is no good and there really is no bad. It's all about personal perception, and everything in moderation. And so I think right now I feel collectively it's this void of needing to take a step back and to really just take a look at your life, where you're at, the seeds you planted with that new moon in Pisces. Are you overindulging in certain areas of your life? Do you need to reevaluate an intake of something if you're consuming too much, whether it's too much TV, porn, drugs? I don't know. Maybe it's too much partying. Maybe you need to cut back on partying. Maybe it's just time to take a step back and take a break from social media. That was a big one for me. It's like I'm really thinking about withdrawing all of my content off of Facebook and downloading all my pictures and just removing myself from social media. Is that a distraction? Is that a problem? So how can you really use the energies I feel this week of this void to tap into that inner goddess? Now, mind you, we're still going to be moving through the moon cycles, and I'll talk about that in all of the dailies throughout the week. But I feel right now the feminine is really needing to start that new art project, or to find that work-life balance in your life. And so for me, the kids are home on March break, it's spring break. And so the kids are going to be home all week. And so to find that work-life balance might be a little bit difficult for me. So you might be dealing with a similar situation, 818 on the timer. But I feel we really need to master self-control and to keep those impulses in check, and to cut out anything unhealthy right now as part of this purification. So how can you really use the energy this week to really nurture yourself and nurture your path and plant those seeds and nurture those seeds? So practice patience and self-control. Find a healthy balance between giving and receiving, right? What you putting out there, are you receiving something back in return? Is it worth the effort? And I feel the energy really is emphasizing this week the importance of honest communication and compromise, right? Temperance is all about compromising. And so be open to new experiences as well. Be open to something new. Don't be so rigid in a certain belief about the journey, about the counterpart. Be open to new experiences. Be open to new connections. 9/11 on the timer. There is a deep need, I feel, to take a time out and to focus on self. And there is a deep need for spiritual growth this week. And so recognize relationships that need to end your life. Please take the time to recognize that and maintain those healthy boundaries, and don't go back to things that aren't good for you. So learn to appreciate the simple things in life. I know so many times we get caught up in toxic cycles with all kinds of different relationship dynamics, work, friends, romantic, family, because when things are simple and quiet, people don't know what to do with their time because they're so used to drama and chaos and conflict. And so at first, the simple things can seem a little bit boring because you're going through a detox of all of these unhealthy energies. And so remember to find balance this week, 1001, so mirroring energies, and prioritize your own needs before others this week, because we do close off the week on Sunday, March the 17th with St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, luck of the Irish to ya. But we do close off the week with Sun conjunct Neptune. So the Sun's still in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. So this was like a Chariot with the Fool energy for me, and an Ace of Wands with the World. And so there's a lot of increased intuition going into the weekend. So sit with yourself, sit with the oversensitivity and the energies, sit with the empathy that you need to give yourself to nurture yourself as we prepare for the next leg of this journey. And so right now I feel collectively we're being affected by our thoughts and our feelings. So watch your thoughts. Watch your words with others. Are you in a positive or a negative experience? And this is all going to depend on the people that you surround yourself with. So if you're in a negative experience, maybe you're going to encounter a progressing challenge. Maybe it's going to hinder your self-confidence, or maybe it's going to have it's going to give you a difficult time when it comes to finding like your reason, because the blending and the blurring of boundaries might be very unclear and foggy with the Sun conjunct Neptune. Neptune rules illusions. And so there is also this dissolving energy, I feel, going into the weekend, a washing away energy, or like a washed up onto shore type energy. But I do feel you want to not avoid the reality of a situation, because that will just create more confusion and self-deception. So I feel we can't keep reaching for undesirable desires. I feel there's like a painful wake up and disillusionment into the weekend. And what I want to say is one of the hardest lessons is confronting the reality of your life. We can't keep disassociating. We can't keep doing that. We have to bring our conscious awareness back into our body, and we do have to accept the reality of our external conditions that we have created. And so I feel this week leading into the weekend is a massive opportunity to dissolve the past and any illusions attached to the past, so we can expand beyond the mundane and we can tap into these otherworldly realms. And so the Chariot and the Fool coming through is the energy of needing to take a leap of faith, find the courage to take a risk for a new beginning. And that might require releasing relationships, old relationships, to go towards a new relationship. Find the courage to make any changes that you need to make this week, to find your drive and willpower to leave the old cycle behind. We can't hold onto all of this old stuff and expect to go into the new. We have to completely release the old. We can't be wishy-washy. And so with the Ace of Wands in the World, we have a powerful new beginning here this week. And so this beginning and this change is coming whether we're ready for it or not. We are so close to these eclipses coming through. That new moon in Pisces was the start of the eclipse portals. So we are in the realm of a new beginning of love and relationships, a fresh start, a renewed energy of positive change. So are you ready? So let's jump in with some cards. 1331 is where we're going to start the cards at. That's interesting. 1331. So let's jump in with the cards, guys. Let's see what else needs to come through for the collective. I'm going to jump in with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck to start. And we will get a few messages into the masculine collective, and we will kind of do masculine, feminine, and we will see what needs to come through. So there's the veil of illusion being pierced. So I think a lot of the masculines have had a recent third eye activation. Maybe they're having a hard time sleeping, but it's peeling back the layers of like an onion. And so this journey takes time. It comes in layers of peeling back the layers of the onion. And you know what happens when you cut an onion, you usually cry. But I do feel seeing something they didn't originally see, and there's overwhelming fear, I think, with a lot of the masculines as they strip all of these illusions of the mind and they kind of come out of that man-made prescription of their matrix life. And so I think they're having a hard time with this third eye expansion and this rediscovery. But let's keep going here and see what needs to come through for the Divine Masculine Collective. Keep in mind, guys, this is not sign specific. So I will call out zodiac signs that you may or may not be dealing with, but this is definitely not sign specific, okay? We got 2 cards out for the masculine, and we got Find Your Tribe, and we got the Void. Okay. Heightened awareness. So I do feel a lot of intuitive senses are being activated for the Divine Masculine. Let's see what's on the feminine side, and then we'll talk about this. So I do want to mention today would be the very last day for you to get in on the online tarot class that is starting tomorrow. So if you'd like to learn tarot from me, feel free to check out the video card link above or below. There is an option to join and register for the tarot class. I'd love to have you join. If you'd like to learn tarot from me, head on over there and register for the class. Also, if you'd like to book a reading with me, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, there is now an option on the webpage to book several styles of reading. So go check it out. And now if you'd like to join the channel membership, feel free to head on over there. And I'd love to have you over as a channel member, where I go live every Thursday at noon. And we talk about the journey. I do card pulls. It's just a fun, safe place for us to connect. But let's get into this, okay? Empowerment came through on the Divine Feminine side with this pile. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about this, Divine Feminine, or not? Do you really want to talk about this? I feel a major purge going on with the Divine Feminine Collective. A major purge connected to wounding. So there's a lot of challenges within these twin flame dynamics, right? Tons of challenges, because we come into this with a soul agreement, and we have other soul contracts and agreements with karmic soul contracts as well, and other soulmates. And so all of these agreements that we've entered into as part of this twin flame journey has been to clear the past life karma that has shaped us, right? The past life wounds. And so right now I feel the masculine sitting in a void, really coming into this heightened awareness of the misguided falsehoods within that group of friends. They're seeking out new friendships, and I do feel they're recognizing who contributes to their growth and who keeps them stuck and depleted. So there is a heightened awareness. So we're kind of in the void of the gap where things kind of shift below the surface. The Divine Feminine. You need to learn to empower yourself. You are not a victim. Stop waiting for the masculine to come and save you. We're not living in Disneyland. We're not princesses, and nobody's coming to save us, Divine Feminine. You need to learn to take ownership and execute a plan to step into your highest potential. The feminine needs to step into that leadership role, needs to shine that light. So any step towards your purpose, your mission in the right direction really is a step towards self-empowerment. And so divine timing is at play. The feminine, I feel, is maybe facing some major life changes this week, going through major expansion, soul evolution. You might be expanding your gifts. The telepathy might be expanding, third eye gifts, clairaudiency gifts expanding, and I do feel a higher heart activation. Actually, this morning, after channeling the daily message, I felt so much pressure right in here, like this stuckness right in between the throat and the heart. And so a higher heart opening. And so the Anahata energy. And so into the depths you go to come back out with more light, more bright light. And so a higher opening of the heart to fill the heart with compassion and forgiveness. And so divine timing is saying it is time to go through this purge, this cleanse. And so you are in need of reprieve as you go through this heart purification, because there is still circumstances in your life that need to be purged, whether it's a person, a behavior, a pattern, a circumstance. The feminine's in a major purification, rejuvenation, healing energy this week, I feel. So let it out, honey. Just let it all out. Purge it out, anything unhealthy that needs to leave, so you can really go into the Empress energy, face the changes, because the divine is saying you've done a lot of work so far on the journey, but it's time to level up. You're ready for the next level. So between the twins on the bottom of the deck, there is a major challenge ahead connected to accountability and connected to this wound that the twins share, because the twins do trigger each other's core wound. And so what I've recognized on the journey is a lot of the twins, most of the twins will share a same core wound, and the karmic connection will reflect a deeper wound, right? And so that's where we can never get on the same page with the karmic, because we have a different core wound. But ultimately, the twin flame journey is about healing. It is about taking accountability, looking in the mirror, being accountable for your entire past, what it is that you want to create for the future, and just being in ownership, right? We can't blame other people. We have to own all of the challenges we've created in relationships too, because it does take two. It takes two, right, to recognize the dynamic that's been a little bit twisted. But I do feel we've got a challenge to face, and maybe it's facing each other face to face. But I feel a lot of us are being tested this week as things kind of move below the surface, shift below the surface. So let's jump in with some archetype cards. Let's get the main archetypes energy surrounding the Divine Masculine Collective this week. What is the main archetype surrounding the masculine and this heightened awareness? So they're probably coming into an awareness of some shadow aspects when it comes to a certain archetype. So what is that heightened awareness about? Oh, that is so interesting. I just said, nobody's coming to save you. You can't keep being this damsel in distress. And so if you have been waiting for like the masculine to come in like a knight in shining armor and provide you with this protection like a fantasy or an illusion, I do feel that's not going to happen. Okay, so don't try to seduce the masculine. If he is dealing with a karmic, I think he's coming into the recognition that he's dealing with a drama queen or a damsel in distress. And there's an option to choose a different path, which would be the queen. And so I feel a lot of the masculines too, there are challenges to release a certain level of egoic arrogance when it comes to their authority. Maybe their inner ego is kind of being challenged as they come into this recognition between the two options. So this would be like a Knight of Cups situation, and then we got a Queen of Cups. So I do feel the feminine is radiating this regalness right now. And that's really highlighting where somebody has really been relying on the masculine or has been creating some type of romantic illusion through seduction. But I do feel the energy really is showing the masculine that the feminine, I feel the feminine has mirrored to the masculine how to rely on themselves, right? A lot of the divine feminines are in the queen energy, and we know how to step into our benevolent authority and rely on ourselves. And so this is like the Libra energy. I do feel there's a realization of the masculine subconscious hidden motivations where he did maybe have a hidden agenda but wasn't consciously aware of it. And so the masculine, I feel this week, is trying to strategize as to how to come in and gain the respect of the feminine. I also feel recognizing that maybe he sabotaged a connection or has been dealing with a trickster. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so let's dig in and see what the main archetype energies are surrounding the feminine collective. And then we're going to jump in with some tarot messages. Okay, messages for the divine feminine, the Samaritan, any other messages for the feminine, and the mentor. We only get 2 cards for you coming out. Bottom of the deck, we get the Rebel. So that's Aquarian energy. So you might have prominent Aquarius in your chart. But the archetype surrounding the feminine is the Samaritan with the mentor, and then we get the Rebel. So I just feel the energy is allowing you to refine your capacity to help those. So I feel you can no longer ignore this inner calling when it comes to stepping into your mission work. And I do feel you will exact the appropriate recognition and appreciation in divine timing. And so right now I feel the feminine is stepping into being that spiritual mentor, passing on the wisdom and the knowledge that she's learned. And that is why you need to go into self-care, because we are stepping into facing challenges, right? We might have to challenge authority in order to effect this social change that the twins came here to effect. And so I feel the feminine can no longer reject the spiritual systems, the spiritual journey, the push to step into her innermost need, I think, to be of service at this time. And so there's a lot of anger, I feel, being released when it comes to peer pressure for the divine feminine. And so there's a major release of these negative, destructive behaviors, I feel, on both sides this week. So let's jump in with the tarot. And we'll see what else needs to come through. I'm going to do 9 cards, and we'll see what what's in store for the twins for the week ahead, but I feel a turning point. I do feel we're kind of at a turning point this week. So the Pisces energy is bringing in a lot of heightened awareness. I feel let's get into it, guys. What needs to come through? Three of Swords in reverse. There's that purge. The Page of Coins in reversed, and then we get the release. So the release of the missed opportunity. There's a major purge of all of the sadness when it comes to the disconnection. There's a major purge when it comes to releasing and letting go of the past. So I feel both counterparts are in a state of major personal growth, purging these old emotions, facing any emotional challenges or misunderstandings as they arise so they can heal them. And so I do feel purging the missed opportunity. And so like the ending, the completion, the releasing, that is leading to the new beginning. So there might still be a need to release a situation that's been holding you back as part of this transformation. So we get Judgment for the middle row. We get the Empress in reversed. And then we get the Four of Swords in reversed. We get the Nine of Wands in reverse, which is the wounded healer. We get the the Fool in reverse. And we get the Page of Wands in reversed. The Ten of Swords in reversed. And the World. Okay, so we're closing out the cycle of the missed opportunity. So the dead central energy is the Empress in reverse, which is the karmic feminine, so the shadow feminine. And so there's a deep dive into the shadow self, I feel, this week for the divine feminine, and also where the divine masculine has been rejecting their own inner feminine. So this is where this relationship dynamic gets a little tricky, right? So the divine masculine will usually be with a karmic feminine. Whether it's two men together or not, doesn't matter. We all have masculine, feminine. There's plenty of men out there that are very feminine. Doesn't mean they're even gay. Just saying. The karmic feminine, the shadow feminine, the lack of nurturing, the lack of mothering energy, right? And so now is not really the time for action this week. This is a week of purging. This is a week of reviewing the past, going into the shadow feminine energy, showing yourself compassion, showing yourself forgiveness. And I feel taking a step back. We will be coming out of this reflective, insightful time period very soon. But there's the blocked communication as the masculine still cuts through illusion. So a lot of the masculines are in a state of disillusionment as the feminine purges her inner shadow self, integrates the shadow self. And so there is a new creative project that I feel is being a little bit delayed. You might be having trouble sleeping this week. You might be going through a lot of mental exhaustion as all of these old patterns are getting purged out of the mind space. So meditation is going to be key this week to work through all of these energies before going forward, because we're consciously choosing to go into the wound, and you know you can do this. So this is about going into the heart. And so there's a delay when it comes to the fresh new start. And I feel a lot of the masculines are feeling foolish. They're feeling like a sacred clown because there was so many fears that they didn't push aside when it comes to taking this leap of faith. And so there is a need to address the past betrayal of not taking action and coming back to finish maybe what was started up to 10 years ago. It doesn't have to be. But I feel the dead central energy is the feminine going through a major purge and cleanse. And the masculine is also sifting through illusions and going through disillusionment. So I do feel by Taurus season or by that Libra eclipse, right, there's going to be a possibility to gain that clarity to head in a new direction. But let's clarify the Empress in reverse. Ultimately, this is a week of spiritual enlightenment is kind of what I'm feeling. So a lot of the feminines have to heal from romantic illusions and delusions, I feel. And this takes a lot of work, right? This is also about healing the mother wound and the father wound. So what I want to say is, like, this is a week of realizations connected to past relationships where maybe they made your heart flutter, but it really wasn't the most open-hearted experience, right? And so releasing past love gone wrong. Finding the strength, I think, divine feminine, to realize that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. And so true strength really is about bring forward forgiveness. So I feel this is a week of, like, I pour into you, you pour into me, the water bearer. So this is a week of purging some old stuck emotions. So we got to have faith in the future, right? The future is going to be bright. Dreams are going to come true, but we do have to first and foremost embrace the positive changes that we need to make, right? If we want to stop recreating all of these challenging times. So light is at the end of the tunnel. I do feel an opportunity for a brand new energy, time to take action maybe near the end of the week, to go towards the Four of Wands. And so this is all about doing good, putting good out there, doing what it is that you're passionate about, and taking action towards maybe a new goal, because we always do get to decide what's next. We are in charge of our own destiny. So let's get one last message for the twins for the week ahead. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It is March break. So we are going to get one last message with the Moonology message oracle deck. So take a risk. Be willing to take a risk. Maybe that's a message for the masculine, but I do feel it's time to embrace the dark side mystery of the connection, right? And we can't have the light without the darkness. We need both to exist, right? We do live in a dualistic reality. So one last message for the twins, please. Take a risk. Is it just the one? I think there's two. Take a risk. Oh, Enchanted. Might want to go listen to that Taylor Swift Enchanted song. I do feel like this is such an enchanting journey. And so I feel the feminine is in this gravitational pull, and the masculine is looking at her as, man, I wish I would have told her how enchanting she was when I knew her, right? And so we're in the portal of transformation. Allow your intuition to guide you forward. I think Divine Feminine, just take a step back, take a breath, and be patient. Do nothing. Do nothing. Allow the masculine to be enchanted. It's the masculine that needs to take the risk. And that's what I've got for the week ahead, guys. I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, please feel free to check out that description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.